Welcome back, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Dark Tower by Stephen King, book number 7 in the Dark Tower series, the final book. Man, it came out in 2004. Can you believe that was like, what, 18 years ago? It seems like it just came out the other day to me. I don't know why. Anyway, I am reviewing all the Stephen King novels in order of publication. We are to this book now, so we're a good 2/3 of the way through the Stephen King catalog. If you've been following these reviews. I've been listening to the audible.com versions of the books, and I follow along as I listen. I follow along word for word. And the voice narrator for this book was George Guidall. Did a great job. Now let's talk about the covers, because we always talk about graphic design and cover illustration because I love graphic design and cover illustration. So let's get to it. I've got the paperback version here, which we're going to talk about. The paperback cover was done by Tony Mora. I think that's the person's name. Anyway, yeah, Tony Mora. And then the hardcover, the original hardcover, was done by none other than the great Michael Whelan. And I've got two versions of the hardcover. I've got the original Donald M. Grant Collector's Edition hardcover, and I've got the hardcover that you could go ahead and buy in the Barnes & Noble bookstores or on Amazon.com. We will look at this one first. It's got the nice wraparound, great spine, great back cover thing. Now this one also has the same, little bit different font. You can see the font is a little different. Then on the back, we've got the Stephen King photos. But I wanted to show you this one because this one I got signed. This one's got some great inside illustrations. This one I got signed by, yeah, there's inside. And this collector's edition has some really cool illustrations in it. And I also got it signed by the artist Michael Whelan and the president of Donald M. Grant Publishing. And so if I ever do, if I ever meet Stephen King, I'll probably carry this one along with me to get it signed. So it'll be my most complete signed book of all. So if we're going to judge these two covers, you know, I actually kind of like the font and everything on this one better, but we're gonna go with this one as the best just because it is the collector's edition. And it does show off a lot more artwork on the inside. And the font is small enough that it shows off more of the Michael Whelan painting. And there's other cool things in it. Let's see. Now let's compare it to the paperback version. So which one do we like better? This or the paperback version? I think they're both pretty dope. I like them both. But again, I will probably go with the collector's edition rather than the paperback edition. Although, the paperback edition is cool because if you come over here, and we'll lift up the camera, if you come over here and you put the all the paperback editions together like this, they form one continuous painting that is really cool. All 7 books are this one continuous long painting, which is cool. As far as the paperbacks go, I do really like that. The publisher did that. It's really extraordinary. They went out of their way to make it cool. So anyway, let's get to the book itself. Let's put these back on the shelf so we can see them over there. And then let's review the book. This is going to be a short review because if I mention too many details, I'm going to give spoilers away for the previous 6 books in the series, and I don't want to do that too much. So let's just say that this starts in 1999 with Callahan, Jake Chambers, and Oi fighting vampires. It's got a really cool, dope opening. It's a very dynamic, dynamite opening. And we get also the departure, the very, very sad departure of one of our main characters. And so there's that. So we're off to a good start. Then we jump into scenes with Eddie and Roland and Susanna and the bizarre baby birthing scene and things involving Mordred and the Crimson King. And a journey back to the thing that I do like about this series, which a lot of people take issue with, and that's that Stephen King put himself as a character in these books. Actually, that's my favorite part. I actually read those parts closer. I pay more attention to those parts of the book when Stephen King himself is a character in the book. And so when we journey back to old Stephen King books like Hearts in Atlantis and a lot of the Stephen King multiverse, a lot of those plot threads sort of interweave throughout this book from other books, like The Stand, Hearts in Atlantis, Salem's Lot. A lot of this stuff sort of comes together in this book, and also leaves us with more mysteries and more things to ponder about the Stephen King multiverse. There's a few things I don't like there's some weird characters that show up like Finley and Pimley. I could do without that kind of silliness, but also I love the good stuff where Stephen King himself is a character, especially when he sort of reimagines his own car accident when he got run over by the van on the woodland highway that almost killed him back in the late 90s before he wrote this. In fact, after that van crashed into him, he seriously thought about retirement. And these Dark Tower books were going to be the last thing he ever wrote. Well, thank goodness they weren't, because he's went on to write, and I've got him behind me, I bet went on to write another 16 to 17 awesome novels since this came out in 2004. My favorite parts of the entire Dark Tower series come in the last 80 pages of this book. The chapters are just titled The Crimson King and the Dark Tower, and then there's a few epilogues, but I absolutely loved the way this ended, and I know that's going to be controversial to a lot of people. A lot of people say Stephen King writes great stories, he just never lands the ending. I think that opinion is not quite accurate. I think he writes great beginnings and really good endings. I really do. I think this is his strongest ending ever. You can disagree with me in the comments. That's fine. I mean, everyone's opinion is welcome here, and I'm not going to crap all over your opinion if you disagree with mine. And I don't care if you crap on my opinion, because you can type in there what an idiot I am if you want. I don't care. I actually loved this ending. I did not see it coming. I remember the first time I read it, I was glued. I was absolutely glued to the lady pages, the last 80 pages. Oh, Lord, I'll edit that part out. Anyway, the first time I read this, I was glued to the last 80 pages of this story because I had been following the Dark Tower series ever since The Gunslinger came out. And so I have been anticipating how this was going to end. Anticipation. But I could not have anticipated the ending he gave me, which was the perfect ending in my opinion. And I'm not going to talk about that. People that have read this know what I'm talking about. And half the people, 3/4 of the people, are probably going to disagree with me that I think it's the best ending he's given us of any book ever. Well, 11/22/63 may top it, but just a great ending, and an appropriate ending, and an ending that makes 100% sense to me in regards to the whole series as a whole. And I know we've spent a lot of time here discussing this controversial ending, which I haven't even described to you, because if you haven't read this book, I don't want to give that away. And if you have read this book, you know what I'm talking about, and you're going to either agree with me or disagree with me, and that's cool. That is my review of The Dark Tower. That's all the info I'm going to spew forth about the book. I'm not even going to read the back of it. Just an awesome series. If you followed my review of this whole series, you know that some of the books I've loved. There's been a couple that, well, there's been one that I thought, well, there's a couple, if you count The Wind Through the Keyhole. But I haven't reviewed that one yet. That one's coming later. There's a few that I didn't like. Most of them I did like. This one is my 100% favorite. It's the only Stephen King Dark Tower book that will rate a 10 out of 10 for me. The only one. I thought it was fantastic. From the cover art down to the story, absolutely beautiful. Good job, Stephen King. Well done on your magnum opus Dark Tower series. Thought it was a success. There we go.